Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails historic reforms in agriculture, says government is committed to MSP support for farmers. Kosi Rail Mega Bridge and 12 railway projects unveiled by Prime Minister to improve connectivity in Bihar. COVID recovery rate improves to 78.86%. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says India-Japan economic cooperation is on an upswing. And a stage all set for 13th edition of IPL cricket from tomorrow in Abu Dhabi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said Agriculture Reforms Bill will provide new opportunities to farmers to sell their produce, which will increase their profits. He was speaking after dedicating the historic Kosi Rail Mahasetu Mega Bridge to the nation through video conference this afternoon. The Prime Minister asserted that these legislations will empower farmers in the country and will ensure that they get the benefit of modern technology. He assured that the new bill will truly free the farmers from middlemen and all obstacles. The Prime Minister assured farmers that the system of MSP and government procurement will continue as before.
हमारी सरकार किसानों को एमएसपी के माध्यम से उचित मूल्य दिलाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। पहले भी थे, आज भी हैं, आगे भी रहेंगे। सरकारी खरीद भी पहले की तरह जारी रहेगी। कोई भी व्यक्ति अपना उत्पादन जो भी वो पैदा करता है दुनिया में कहीं भी बेच सकता है, जहां चाहे वहां बेच सकता है।
The Prime Minister alleged that the opposition parties are misguiding people by protesting against the Agriculture Reforms Bill. He said various powers are engaged in confusing the farmers regarding the provisions of the new legislation.
जिस एपीएमसी एक्ट को लेकर अब ये लोग राजनीति कर रहे हैं, एग्रीकल्चर मार्केट के प्रावधानों में बदलाव का विरोध कर रहे हैं, उसी बदलाव की बात इन लोगों ने अपने घोषणा पत्र में भी लिखी थी। लेकिन अब जब एनडीए सरकार ने ये बदलाव कर दिया है तो ये लोग इसका विरोध करने पर, झूठ फैलाने पर, भ्रम फैलाने पर उतर आए हैं।
He exhorted that these bills will additionally fortify the farmers by giving them many more options. Home Minister Amit Shah has expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the passage of two crucial bills on agricultural reforms in the Lok Sabha. In a series of tweets, the Home Minister said India is proud of its hard-working farmers who shoulder the creation of the nation's wealth and prosperity. He said it is for the first time that there is a government at the centre which is working day and night towards the empowerment of farmers. He added that the passage of landmark agriculture reform bills in the Lok Sabha yesterday is an unprecedented step in this direction. In Haryana, progressive farmers today came forward in support of the three farmers-related bills and said the bills passed in the Lok Sabha are in the interest of farmers. In Bhiwani, District President of Pragatishil Kisan Sangh Kuldeep Singh and another farmer Rajesh Kumar said a few farmers are opposing these bills without knowing the facts. They said these bills will facilitate the farmers to adopt the group agriculture and sell their produce in the open market. In Ambala, Kisan Utpadak Sangh, Pragatishil Kisan Sangathan and Sehkari Kisan Sangathan fully supported all the three bills and handed over a memorandum to Tehsildar for Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. In the memorandum, they said these bills provide freedom to farmers to sell their produce anywhere in the country. In Panchkula, the farmers belonging to Kisan Utpadak Sangh, Pragatishil Kisan Sangathan and Sehkari Kisan Sangathan carried a tractor rally in support of the farm bills. They said if these are implemented in letter and spirit, it will benefit the farmers in a big way. In our series on Seva Saptah, today we bring you a special story on agricultural reforms. In the last 6 years, Narendra Modi government has laid a lot of emphasis on empowering the farmers. 2,000 rupees is being provided to farmers is proving to be very helpful. Ujjwala Yojana has proven to be a boon for women. Let's listen to the beneficiaries.
हर 4 महीने में 2-2 हजार रुपये जो लागू करके भेज रहे हैं, किसानों के सुविधा के लिए। इसके लिए मैं नरेंद्र मोदी जी को बहुत बहुत नमन करता हूँ।
मैंने उज्ज्वला गैस नहीं रहे, अब गैस दिलक, उकर से बहुत किसान के टाइम से खाना बनाते है, उकर बादे में अपन छुआ पुत्र के स्कूल भेजत हैं।
मोदी जी ने हमारा भारत के लिए बहुत कुछ किया है, हमारा देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicated the historic Kosi Rail Mahasetu mega bridge to the nation through video conference this afternoon. He also inaugurated 12 rail projects related to passenger facilities to benefit the people of Bihar.
बिहार में रेल कनेक्टिविटी के क्षेत्र में नया इतिहास रचा गया है। कोसी महासेतु और किउल ब्रिज के साथ ही बिहार में रेल यातायात, रेलवे के बिजलीकरण और रेलवे में मेक इन इंडिया को बढ़ावा देने, नए रोजगार पैदा करने वाले 1 दर्जन प्रोजेक्ट्स का आज लोकार्पण और शुभारंभ हुआ है।
The 1.9 kilometer long Kosi mega bridge has been completed at a total cost of 516 crore rupees. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said history has been created in connectivity and prosperity of Bihar after the construction of the historic Kosi Rail Mahasetu. He said the bridge has connected Mithila and Kosi region. With the construction of the bridge, the rail distance between Nirmali and Saraigad would come down from the present 298 kilometers to 22 kilometers. This bridge is of strategic importance along the Indo-Nepal border. It would also make it easy for long-distance travel to Kolkata, Delhi and Mumbai for the people of the region.
कोसी और मिथिला क्षेत्र के लिए ये महासेतु सुविधा का साधन तो है ही, ये इस पूरे क्षेत्र में व्यापार, कारोबार, उद्योग, रोजगार को भी बढ़ावा देने वाला है। बिहार के लोग तो इसे भली भांति जानते हैं कि वर्तमान में निर्मली से सरायगढ़ का रेल सफर करीब करीब 300 किलोमीटर का होता है। अब वो दिन ज्यादा दूर नहीं जब बिहार के लोगों को 300 किलोमीटर की ये यात्रा नहीं करनी पड़ेगी।
The Prime Minister stressed that the dedication of this project has fulfilled the 86-year-old dream and long wait of the people of the region. During the heavy flood and severe Indo-Nepal earthquake in 1934, the Kosi rail link was washed away, and thereafter, due to the meandering nature of River Kosi, no attempt was made to restore this rail link for a long time. The project was completed during the ongoing pandemic with the participation of the migrant labour as well. The Prime Minister said 90% rail line in Bihar has been electrified. He blamed the previous UPA government for the slow progress in the development of railways in the state during its rule. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said the dream of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee has been fulfilled with the dedication of the Kosi Rail Mahasetu. Mr. Kumar thanked Prime Minister Modi for speedy construction of the Setu. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal said a new chapter has been added in the golden history of Bihar after the construction of the Kosi Rail Mahasetu. The government has amended the Public Procurement Preference to Make in India Order 2017 on the 16th of this month. The amendment enables nodal ministries and departments to notify higher minimum local content requirement for Class 1 and Class 2 local suppliers. As per the order, entities of countries which do not allow Indian companies to participate in their government procurement for any item shall not be allowed to participate in government procurement in India for all items related to that nodal ministry or department, except for the list of items published by the ministry or department permitting their participation. Specifying foreign certifications, unreasonable technical specifications, brands, models in the bid document is restrictive and discriminatory practice against local suppliers. The country today registered the highest single-day recoveries of 87,472 COVID patients. The Health Ministry said the recovery rate of COVID-19 has further improved to 78.86%. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has reached over 41,12,000. The constantly increasing recoveries has ensured that the actual caseload of the country is reduced and currently comprises only 19.52% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 10,17,000. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.62%, which is one of the lowest globally. Kerala continued to report surge in COVID cases as it confirmed 4,167 positive cases today. More from our correspondent.
The situation in Thiruvananthapuram district is getting very serious as it confirms 926 cases today, taking the total active cases in the district to 6,464. Meanwhile, 12 deaths were also confirmed today due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 501. 2,744 recoveries were also reported in the state today. The active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 35,724. Meanwhile, the State Election Commission had convened an all-party meeting today to decide on the local self-government elections in the state. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
The centre has decided to depute a high-level central team to Jammu. The district has reported a rise in the number of new COVID cases in recent days. The Health Ministry said the team will interact with the district collectors and health officers of Jammu. It will also visit hospitals in Bakshi Nagar and Gandhinagar. The team will support the efforts of the state towards strengthening containment, surveillance, testing and efficient clinical management of positive cases. The central team will also guide in effectively managing the challenges related to timely diagnosis and follow-up. The total number of confirmed COVID cases in Jammu is 9,428. Of these, 3,196 have recovered. There are 6,115 active cases in the district. Jammu has been reporting doubling time of 15.4 days and the recovery rate is 33.9%. The ministry said recently a special team had visited the Srinagar Valley. The team had reviewed the status of preparedness for COVID management with the district collectors of the valley. In Himachal, the state government has decided to open schools from 9th to 12th standard from Monday with some conditions. This decision was taken by the State Cabinet in its meeting chaired by Chief Minister Jairam Thakur this evening. More from our correspondent.
The Cabinet gave its decision to open the schools from 9 to 12 standard outside the containment zone in the state from Monday as per the standard operating procedure. The written consent of the parents or guardians of the students is mandatory. These schools will be opened with 50% teaching and non-teaching staff. Meanwhile, 10 corona patients died in various parts of the state today. With this, the number of COVID deaths in the state has risen to 106. 3 deaths are reported from Kangra and Solan East, 2 from Shimla, and 1 each from Mandi and Sirmaur district. The total number of active cases in the state has gone up to 4,228 so far. Sanjeev Sundrial, AR News, Shimla.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today said India and Japan have seen a very visible increase in economic cooperation. At the launch of the India-Japan report by FICCI, Dr. Jaishankar said FDI inflows from Japan have gone up and the number of Japanese companies in India has also gone up. The minister said Japan is the only country with which India has an annual summit as well as 2+2 dialogue. He stated that this shows how much in sync the two countries are in terms of how they look at the world and define interests. The External Affairs Minister said India has a vision for the Indo-Pacific region, as indeed does Japan. He said both nations have in many ways tried to shape the Indo-Pacific narrative. He stressed that the seamlessness of what happens in the Pacific and the Indian Ocean regions today underlines the importance and relevance of the Indo-Pacific. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened? What is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. Every day at 10:20 p.m. in the night. On 100.1 FM, All India Radio.
And now it's over to Nishit Kumar for a review of today's proceedings in Parliament.
We'll begin with the proceedings in the Rajya Sabha. Writer is Rajesh Ahuja of UNI. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said the government is committed to provide high-quality medical facilities to all citizens, including the poorest of the poor. He said the most modern and useful systems of medicines will be adopted for ensuring the best healthcare system for the people. The minister was replying to a discussion in the Rajya Sabha today on two health-related bills, the Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2020 and the Indian Medicine Central Council Amendment Bill 2020. He said the National Commission for Modern Medicine will be functional soon. Dr. Harshvardhan said, whenever history will be written about the health reforms in India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be remembered. Later, the two bills were passed by the Rajya Sabha by voice vote. Earlier, cutting across party lines, members underlined the need for strengthening the homeopathy, Ayurveda and other Indian system of medicines and asked the government to extend adequate financial support. Later, the two bills were adopted by voice vote in the House. Initiating the discussion on the bill, Ripun Bora of the Congress expressed apprehension that Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2020 is an attempt to take away the autonomy of the Homeopathy Council. Responding to this, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP said the bill would give a push to scientific research in homeopathy. Santanu Sen of the All India Trinamool Congress stressed the need to make the homeopathy system more robust. However, he opposed the promulgation of an ordinance. Professor Ram Gopal Yadav of the Samajwadi Party said that the current amendments have limited scope and are just to extend the tenure of the Board of Governors of the Homeopathy Council. Among others, K. Soma Prasad of the CPIM, Binoy Viswam of the CPI, Ashok Siddharth of the BSP, Sanjay Singh of Aam Aadmi Party and Dr. Vikash Mahatme of the BJP participated in the discussion. Earlier, the House was adjourned for 30 minutes in the morning as a mark of respect to a sitting member and a former member who passed away recently. The House later took up zero-hour mentions on matters of public importance. Muzibullah Khan of the BJD raised the issue of inaccuracies in census figures on minorities in Odisha. He called for revisiting census figures in Odisha. T.G. Venkatesh of the BJP raised the issue of exorbitant power wheeling charges. M. Tambedurai of the AIADMK requested the centre to release the pending custom milled rice subsidy amount of over 5,445 crore rupees to Tamil Nadu. Samsher Singh Dullo of the Congress complained on the sale of illicit liquor in Punjab and asked the centre to investigate it. Theruchi Seva of the DMK raised the issue of unequal representation of states in the central government jobs. Dr. Fawzia Khan of the NCP, Elam Aram Karim of the CPIM, KTS Tulsi of the Congress and Sujit Kumar of the BJD also raised issues like digitization of land rights, concern on privatization of ordnance factories, rights of pensioners and the uneven implementation of the Garib Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyan. Thereafter, the House took up special mentions. Theruchi Siva of the DMK said the bill is another attempt by the government to dilute the principle of federalism. Manoj Kumar Jha of the RJD, Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party and L. Hanumantaiah of the Congress also participated in the discussion. Later, the House also passed two bills, Salaries, Allowances of Ministers Amendment Bill 2020 and the Pensions Amendment Bill 2020 for the purpose of COVID-19 pandemic. Most of the members agreed to contribute their salaries and allowances but opposed to divert the funds earmarked under their MP LAD, Members of Parliament Local Area Development Accounts. As many as 16 members, including Rajiv Satav of the Congress, Swait Malik of the BJP, Drinesh Trivedi of the Trinamool Congress, A. Vijay Kumar of AIADMK, Prasanna Acharya of the BJD, Vishambhar Prasad Nishad of the Samajwadi Party, P. Wilson of the DMK, V. Vijay Sai Reddy of the YSRCP, Ramchandra Prasad Singh of the JDU, Professor Manoj Kumar Jha of the RJD, K. Ravindra Kumar of the TDP, Dr. Fawzia Khan of the NCP, Veer Singh of the BSP, Nazir Ahmed Lave of the JNK PDP, Dr. Keshav Rao of the TRS and nominated member Rakesh Sinha. Responding to this, Leader of the Opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad objected to the proposal saying that the MP LAD fund belonged to people. The bill was passed by the Lok Sabha earlier. Minister of State for Home Affairs G. Kishan Reddy said that his party had made arrangements for providing food to the people in difficult times of COVID. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said the World Health Organization and several agencies have appreciated the efforts of the centre in managing the COVID situation. And now, review of the proceedings in Lok Sabha. Writer is Kumar Rakesh of the PTI. Lok Sabha today witnessed noisy scenes when Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman sought to introduce a bill to give effect to various compliance relief measures for taxpayers, including extending time limits for filing returns and linking PAN with Aadhaar, leading to repeated adjournments of the House. The bill seeks to replace the taxation and other laws, relaxation of certain provisions Ordinance 2020 promulgated in March. The House was adjourned a number of times as opposition protested against some remarks made by the BJP leaders. This is the first time in the ongoing monsoon session that the House witnessed repeated adjournments due to ruckus. While tabling the Taxation and Other Laws, Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Bill 2020, Mrs. Sitharaman said she had a feeling that those who spoke against the introduction of the legislation definitely misunderstood its contents. She said the bill is related to tax returns, filing and tax payments, and that is only the intention of the government, as tax filing is the centre's domain. It is only about tax payment, tax return and filing, she said. Referring to the GST shares of the states, the minister said the centre would definitely pay the share to the state governments. She made it clear that the centre is not taking away the powers of the states and not running away from its responsibilities. She was referring to allegations made by some opposition members. The centre has never said that it will not pay the state share. It will definitely pay the state share of the GST, she said. The finance minister said Prime Minister Narendra Modi was a successful Chief Minister of Gujarat and he is aware of the problems of states and their requirements. Ms. Sitharaman said that the opposition was trying to distort the facts on the intentions of the government. She dismissed the opposition's claim that the centre was violating the GST Council or bypassing it. She asserted that the centre is not violating the GST Council or CGST Act. The finance minister also said that the Vivad se Vishwas Scheme 2020 is not an amnesty scheme as it does not give benefits to the tax evaders. It is only related to dispute resolution and it is not proper to term it as amnesty scheme, she said. The finance minister then asked her junior colleague Anurag Thakur to speak about the PM CARES Fund set up recently by the central government, keeping in mind the need for having a dedicated national fund with the primary objective of dealing with any kind of emergency or distress situation like posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and to provide relief to the affected. She said the Public Charitable Trust's name is Prime Minister's Citizens Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations Fund, PM CARES Fund. Mr. Thakur accused the opposition of finding faults in every issue. He said the opposition felt that EVM was bad, Triple Talaq was bad, and GST was bad and always so bad in good initiatives of the government. He wanted to know what is wrong with the PM CARES Fund. The junior minister said several times the opposition members approached the law courts against the PM CARES Fund, but they did not support their stand. Mr. Thakur said when the Prime Minister was fighting the coronavirus pandemic, some people went to court against the fund. Even the poorest of the poor have contributed to the PM CARES Fund, but the opposition kept on asking questions. Even children, old, retired teachers have contributed to the PM CARES Fund, he said. Referring to the PM National Relief Fund, Mr. Thakur said the trust was set up during the tenure of the former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and was not even registered as a public trust, but it got all relevant clearances, including FCRA, he said. Mr. Thakur said the PM CARES Fund is a constitutionally set up public charitable trust, but the PM National Relief Fund was set up only for the benefit of one family, Nehru Gandhi family, he alleged. Reacting to this, Congress members strongly protested against the minister's remarks, forcing the Speaker Om Birla to adjourn the House for 30 minutes. Congress leaders Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Shashi Tharoor, Manish Tiwari, Professor Saugata Roy of the Trinamool Congress and A.M. Arif of the CPIM opposed the introduction of the bill. Mr. Tharoor wanted to know why the PM CARES Fund has been exempted from the audit by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG. He said the contributions to the fund from the Corporate Social Responsibility CSR was wrong. Mr. Saugata Roy said it was a new concept for gathering funds by the PM's office and demanded that the PM CARES Fund should be abolished and money received by it should be transferred to the PM National Relief Fund. The House assembled again only to be adjourned till 5 p.m. and again till 5:30 p.m. and then again till 6 p.m. As soon as the House reassembled, Mr. Thakur expressed his pain if his remarks had hurt any member. Responding to this, Speaker Om Birla made an emotional plea to members to let the House run smoothly, noting that they had set an example by working during the coronavirus times. The Speaker even expressed his regret if his remarks had hurt any member, as he appealed to all parties to work together to set an example. He said that he never held any biases and considered himself a protector of all members irrespective of parties they belong to. Deputy Leader of the House and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also intervened and lauded Thakur for his experience before adding that he had conveyed his pain for remarks that may have hurt some members. Mr. Singh also praised the Speaker for the way he had run the House. Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary also praised the Speaker. The House then took up discussion on the supplementary demands for grants for 2020-21 and demands for excess grants for 2016-17. Participating in the debate, Jayant Sinha of the BJP hailed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, saying he had converted the crisis brought in by the pandemic into an opportunity by launching a number of initiatives, including Atmanirbhar Bharat project. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress criticized the government's handling of the pandemic and economy, saying it had no answers to crisis facing the nation. And that is all in the Parliament Review.
Thank you, Nishit. In more news, the Maharashtra Arthik Vikas Mahamandal, the government's agency dedicated to women's development, has gone a step forward to empower women's self-help groups by launching an e-business platform. Details from our correspondent.
There are over 1,30,000 self-help groups of Mahila Arthik Vikas Mahamandal in the state, out of which 97,499 are in rural areas and over 39,000 in urban areas. A whopping 16 lakh women are associated with these SHGs in rural and urban areas. With e-business on their phones, these women can now publicize their products. They will also get information regarding interested buyers and can accordingly sell their produce to the agency that offers them good price. Women and Child Development Minister Yashomati Thakur said this online platform will financially empower women by giving them access to a wider marketplace. With Nisha Rani, Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
On the occasion of World Bamboo Day, Development of Northeastern Region Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has said the NDA government is planning to promote domestic bamboo industry. Addressing seminars, Dr. Singh said the bamboo industry is going to play a critical role in shaping the post-COVID economy of India. He said the Northeastern region will be one of the favorite business destinations of India post-COVID-19, and bamboo is going to be the key pillar of economic activities. BRICS countries have agreed to continue supporting the World Health Organization in playing a leading role and to strengthen BRICS countries' cooperation in biosafety governance and vaccine research and development. After a long wait, cricket stars will be in action at the 13th edition of the Indian Premier League at Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates tomorrow. The fans will have a lot to cheer as Rohit Sharma-led Mumbai Indians will take on Mahendra Singh Dhoni-led Chennai Super Kings. The tournament, which has been shifted to the UAE due to the COVID-19 pandemic, is a TV-only event. In all, 60 matches will be held in 3 venues, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah and Dubai. All the participating teams have arrived in the UAE to fight it out in a neutral venue away from their home conditions. The organizers have ensured adequate safety arrangements, creating bio-bubbles to prevent coronavirus cases. Over the next 53 days, the participating teams will be facing a tough task to win the title. Now, let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital, Delhi, will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. It will have a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius and maximum of 36 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature will be 25, maximum will be around 30. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will hover between 27 and 33 degrees. Kolkata will see a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be around 27, while the maximum will be 33. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 36. The city will see a mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, minimum temperature will be around 12, while maximum will be 30. The city will see a mainly clear sky. Ladakh will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 10 and 27. In Gilgit, temperature will hover between 15 and 31 degrees Celsius. City will see a mainly clear sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 18 and 36 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails historic reforms in agriculture, says government is committed to MSP support for farmers. Kosi Rail Mega Bridge and 12 railway projects unveiled by Prime Minister to improve connectivity in Bihar. COVID recovery rate improves to 78.86%. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says India-Japan economic cooperation is on an upswing. And stage all set for 13th edition of IPL cricket from tomorrow in Abu Dhabi. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.